Agrovet shops are important outlets where farmers can easily get seeds, pesticides, and other farm inputs that are vital for successful crop and animal production.
Agrovets are very key to society because you find that the agrovet attendant is the closest person, is the closest expert that you have who can advise you on the product that you can use on what crop.
Agro dealers and their agents assist farmers in providing quality inputs. Here are some of the guidelines that appropriators should look out for before starting an agrovet business. Choose a location that is suitable and does not pose any undue risk to people and the environment.
When we are licensing the agrovets, we look at the physical structure of the facility, whereby the facility should be well ventilated, it should have enough space, should have shelves.
Business location is an essential factor to excel in agrovet business. Agrovets thrive well near agricultural farms. You need to consider the competition in the area. An appropriate agrovet shop has several qualities including accessibility to customers, security, adequate storage space, ventilation, adequate water supply. When starting your agrovet business, it is important to ensure you have a neat display that communicates reliability and credibility. Ensure you can distinguish between genuine suppliers, seeking out accredited dealers to avoid buying counterfeit goods. Obtain a license from the requisite regulators such as the Pest Controls Board and display it prominently on the premises. To kick off a successful agrovet business, you will need to meet all the legal requirements.
If you want to get into this business of operating an agrovet, the first thing that you should do is to get into our website, whereby you can get a form, an application that is a premises licensing form, whereby you can fill the form, or you can visit either of our regional offices in Nairobi, Nakuru, Kisumu, Mombasa, and Embu. Then you are required to attach your academic certificate, and you also attach, for you to be a licensed agrovet, you must have a license from the county government.
You will need a county business permit. This is the common permit that is needed for all businesses. If you intend to stock seeds, you will require licensing from the Kenya Plant Health Inspectorate Service, KEPHIS.
KEPHIS has come up with different measures to ensure that the produce that is placed in the market and also exported is meeting market requirement and also food safety standards. We analyze agrochemicals, that is now the pesticide formulations, to ensure that what's again being formulated and also sold in the Kenya market also meets the set specifications.
You will also need to commit yourself to not sell counterfeits by signing the Code of Conduct on Pesticide Management through accreditation by the Agrochemicals Association of Kenya. Here, members follow the Code of Conduct on Pesticide Management, which the industry uses for self-regulation. Through the code, AAK encourages the best practices for agro dealers, including responsible pesticide use and ethical business practice. Pesticides may pose risks to humans and the environment from manufacture to usage. One source of risk is during storage and handling at the point of supply to users. The pesticide should be stored under suitable conditions to maintain its physical and chemical properties until the end user receives it. Spillage could occur directly on persons handling them, contamination of food, or leakage into the environment during the various stages of transportation, loading, unloading, and storage. As appropriator, you should prioritize the safety of your products. One way of doing this is through proper placement. Pesticides should not be placed directly on the ground or on areas prone to flooding. Floor spaces should be uncluttered in a way that permits easy inspection and to allow free flow of air. This also enables immediate cleanup in the event of any leakage or spills, which will be easily visible. Containers should be well arranged to minimize unnecessary handling and to avoid mechanical damage. As a general principle, systems of storage should be flexible and adaptable.
We have a curriculum that we train our farmers with, and it starts with encouraging them to adopt integrated pest management, which is basically giving them options that they can use apart from pesticides. Once they understand this, they are able to responsibly use the pesticides, because they understand that they do not need to always resort to pesticides whenever they have an infestation on their farm.
Remember, proper usage of pesticides increases yields and market access for your produce. Food safety is everyone's responsibility, starting with the farmer. Dawa bora, mazao bora.
Beetroot is a highly nutritious root vegetable. The beetroot is the taproot portion of a beet plant. It is one of the many varieties of the genus Beta vulgaris, all of which are mostly grown for their edible taproots and leaves. Beetroot is a root crop that takes approximately 3 to 4 months to mature. Beetroot is a fairly easy crop to grow as long as the soil is well cultivated prior to planting. Beetroots do not enjoy wet, boggy or shady soils. Beetroot can be sown in trays and transplanted when the seedlings have 2 true leaves. Plant in full sun, space seedlings 10 to 15 centimeters apart, and rows 20 centimeters to 30 centimeters apart so they have room to grow. Beetroots are also ideal for containers or raised beds. Beetroots will happily thrive in small areas as long as there's at least 20 centimeters depth of soil. Beetroot has been used not only for food but also for treatment for numerous conditions.
Agrovet shops are important outlets where farmers can easily get seeds, pesticides, and other farm inputs that are vital for successful crop and animal production.
Agrovets are very key to society because you find that the agrovet attendant is the closest person, is the closest expert that you have who can advise you on the product that you can use on what crop.
Agro dealers and their agents assist farmers in providing quality inputs. Here are some of the guidelines that appropriators should look out for before starting an agrovet business. Choose a location that is suitable and does not pose any undue risk to people and the environment.
When we are licensing the agrovets, we look at the physical structure of the facility, whereby the facility should be well ventilated, it should have enough space, should have shelves.
Business location is an essential factor to excel in agrovet business. Agrovets thrive well near agricultural farms. You need to consider the competition in the area. An appropriate agrovet shop has several qualities including accessibility to customers, security, adequate storage space, ventilation, adequate water supply. When starting your agrovet business, it is important to ensure you have a neat display that communicates reliability and credibility. Ensure you can distinguish between genuine suppliers, seeking out accredited dealers to avoid buying counterfeit goods. Obtain a license from the requisite regulators such as the Pest Controls Board and display it prominently on the premises. To kick off a successful agrovet business, you will need to meet all the legal requirements.
If you want to get into this business of operating an agrovet, the first thing that you should do is to get into our website, whereby you can get a form, an application that is a premises licensing form, whereby you can fill the form, or you can visit either of our regional offices in Nairobi, Nakuru, Kisumu, Mombasa, and Embu. Then you are required to attach your academic certificate, and you also attach, for you to be a licensed agrovet, you must have a license from the county government.
You will need a county business permit. This is the common permit that is needed for all businesses. If you intend to stock seeds, you will require licensing from the Kenya Plant Health Inspectorate Service, KEPHIS.
KEPHIS has come up with different measures to ensure that the produce that is placed in the market and also exported is meeting market requirement and also food safety standards. We analyze agrochemicals, that's now the pesticide formulations, to ensure that what's again being formulated and also sold in the Kenya market also meets the set specifications.
You will also need to commit yourself to not sell counterfeits by signing the Code of Conduct on Pesticide Management through accreditation by the Agrochemicals Association of Kenya. Here, members follow the Code of Conduct on Pesticide Management, which the industry uses for self-regulation. Through the code, AAK encourages the best practices for agro dealers, including responsible pesticide use and ethical business practice. Pesticides may pose risks to humans and the environment from manufacture to usage. One source of risk is during storage and handling at the point of supply to users. The pesticide should be stored under suitable conditions to maintain its physical and chemical properties until the end user receives it. Spillage could occur directly on persons handling them, contamination of food, or leakage into the environment during the various stages of transportation, loading, unloading, and storage. As appropriator, you should prioritize the safety of your products. One way of doing this is through proper placement. Pesticides should not be placed directly on the ground or on areas prone to flooding. Floor spaces should be uncluttered in a way that permits easy inspection and to allow free flow of air. This also enables immediate cleanup in the events of any leakage or spills, which will be easily visible. Containers should be well arranged to minimize unnecessary handling and to avoid mechanical damage. As a general principle, systems of storage should be flexible and adaptable.
We have a curriculum that we train our farmers with, and it starts with encouraging them to adopt integrated pest management, which is basically giving them options that they can use apart from pesticides. Once they understand this, they are able to responsibly use the pesticides because they understand that they do not need to always resort to pesticides whenever they have an infestation on their farm.
Remember, proper usage of pesticides increases yields and market access for your produce. Food safety is everyone's responsibility, starting with the farmer. Dawa bora, mazao bora.
Good morning and welcome to A Farmer's Breakfast. This is Diana Mdega, and today it's a very wonderful morning, being the 21st of February 2021. It's such a wonderful day that Kenyans have united in common forum just to make the government know that they are not doing the right thing by increasing the food prices. So today in the Farmer's Breakfast, we are going to handle that issue. Is it right that the government is just sitting there and they're just looking at how people are suffering without even doing something that is beneficial to the common mwananchi? It's such a terrifying situation in the country right now that people cannot actually afford 3 meals a day because the food prices have so much increased that you cannot even afford that basic meal that you used to afford. Let's say you used to buy bread for your family in the morning, but right now it's so expensive that even those people in the family now cannot even afford that. And if you can afford, then you have to really go deep into your pocket. The salaries are still the same. That is the most important thing. The salaries are still the same. And then the prices of food have increased. So where are we heading as a country? Actually, this is the year that we are electing leaders. You as a common mwananchi out there, what are you looking in this leader that will really help you out there when it comes to lowering the food prices in the country? Like right now, it's a crisis. It's a very big crisis that things are increasing, salaries are still the same, rent is there, clothing are there, fare, kwenda job lazima ukuwe na fare. You can't walk to your job. Maybe you have to maybe work for 2 hours, 3 hours, and that means that actually you have to wake up around 2 if you have to walk to your job. So here in a farmer's breakfast, you're going to tackle like, how are we going to handle the prices of food? How are we going to make sure that, how are we going to lower the prices of food when it comes to a farmer? Wow, how? Like how, where is the starting point? Like, where are we going to start? Where are we going? We are going to pin the problem and then say how we can handle it. Here in a farmer's breakfast where we learn, connect and grow. I'm Diana Mdega. Remember to comment, remember to share, remember to always follow us in our other social media handles to make sure that we keep this conversation going. For instance, here in 254, let me say here in our country, in our motherland, we are used to saying that that is a basic need. Eating is a basic need. Be it a farmer, be it someone who has just gone out there to do work. Even if you're not working, the basic thing to do is eat, just to keep your body going. So if these prices of food are going to be such a higher that even you as a working class guy, you're not going to afford it, or you're going to afford it by dipping deeper into your pocket. Remember, in 2 weeks' time, this is February, in 2 weeks' time, the kids will be home. As parents, the kids will be home. And how are we going then to sustain these kids at home when we cannot even sustain ourselves? Like right now, it's a relief because kids are going to school in the morning. They have to take breakfast in school, and then they have to also take lunch in school. So the only time these kids are eating at home with us, it's during supper. But now they're coming for 7 good weeks. 2 good months, these kids will be home. We as parents are supposed to be providing for them the 3 meals that they have been used to. How are you going to look to your kid in the eye and tell her or him that, we cannot afford tea in the morning? Or if you are going to afford tea in the morning, then you have to stay till supper so that we have another meal. How are you even going to look at the kid in the eye and tell him or her that? Like, it's so much crisis that we as parents, we are going through. Like, it's so much of mental than even anything else. Like, right now, the parents are stressed. The community is stressed. The kids are coming home. How are we going even to survive with them in the first place? And in the next thing, like, are we even going to, how will we handle? How is the situation going to be handled? I'll be joined by Mr. Noah Nasiali later on to just tackle this issue and make sure that us as a farmers media, we're going to let you know that there's a way that we can really reduce the prices of food. And this is by lowering the farm inputs. That's the first thing. The farm inputs, like now, we are going to the planting season. If you just go to any aggregate and just look at the prices of the farm inputs, you'll be surprised. Like, where are we going? How are we going even to survive? How are we going to afford those basic things, basic farm inputs? Are we going to even afford them? Are we going to plant raw like that? Like, are we just going to plant maize without putting fertilizer, without putting foliar, without, like, we are not going to do it. Are we going to do that? And if we do that way, if we go that way, are we going to harvest anything? If we have to say, like, now, okay, right now, I'm going to plant my maize without using the raw materials, like basic, like farm inputs. I'm just going to get my seeds and then I'm going to start planting. I'm not going to use the farm inputs simply because they are very, very expensive. If I go that way, will I even harvest anything? Will I be able to get anything from the farm that actually I can really proudly say that, okay, I didn't do this, but now look at this. The farm inputs have just, like, the prices are mad, very, very mad. Price of, I think 50 kg goes for around 7,200. And now this is January. What if it comes, when, how is it going to look when it is March, when now it is the planting season? Because the planting season, I think, start around March, where people mostly plant maize, and that's where a lot of fertilizer are being. Now, the peak of the season when it comes to now that we are going to plant that particular time, how are we going then to afford that basic thing, like that basic fertilizer? Fertilizer is basic when it comes to planting, but for like 7,200, and what if I have like 10 acres? What if, okay, the last time the last time, like 2-3 years, it was going for around 2,800, around 3,500. The last time around last year, it was around 3,500. Then it came to 3,800. That is a bag of fertilizer, 3,800. But right now, it is 7,000, and it is going up. It's going up. And if you ask around, they tell you, like, you see, even us, when you go to the market or we go to the main supplier, you see the things have increased. Basically, everything has increased, including everything, like even the kiberiti, the matchbox. It used to go for around 2 shillings. And even the matchbox inside were what it was prescribed on top there. Zilikuwa 45, I think. Like right now, I think they go for around 20 something, those matchbox, and it's even 5 bob. It's not even 2 bob again. They have reduced the number of matchstick inside there, and they have increased the prices. So it's no longer at 2 bob, it's around 5 bob. And the matchbox inside there, they were around 60. The ones that were around 60, I think right now they're around 40 something. And the ones that were around 40 something, around 45. Now they are around 28. I don't know what is going on. Like, everything is mad. A price of bread, 500 grams, 400, 500, was going for around 40 bob, 45 bob. Right now, it's going around 50, 60 bob. Actually, no, not for 50 bob. The list is 55. And you see, you just go in the morning to buy, and then the shopkeeper tells you, we no longer, like, you have to add 5 bob. Like, I've just gone to the market to buy bread, and then they're telling me you have to add 5 bob. Like a liter of price, a price of 1 liter of cooking oil. I will not talk about sugar, because sugar we can do without. That's, let's say, just it's a luxury. So we are not going to talk about sugar, because I'll say sugar is a luxury. Like, you can go without, you can just have your tea, and then without sugar. So, because sugar prices, I remember when I was going to shop, and around 2 kgs was around 198 bob. That was 2 kgs of sugar. It was going for around 190 something, because a kilo was going for around 198. So 2 kilos was going for around 195 there, 195 to 197. Actually, right now, as I speak, 2 kg of sugar goes for around 270, 280 bob. This is just 2 kilograms of sugar. You can imagine, I have a family. We have to take tea like every morning. This sugar is not even going to be sustained in a week. How much am I supposed to spend on a day when I have a family? How much am I supposed to spend in a day? Because in the morning, if I have to buy milk and bread, okay, let's say sugar, milk and bread, that's for breakfast, I have to spend around 500. That's just in the morning. And then what about lunchtime? A price of 2 kg of unga, that is maize flour, goes around 130. And then I have to put vegetables, there's tomatoes, there's onions, there's hoho. Around there, like in a day, I have to spend around, okay, that is around, let me say just, if I have a family, I have to spend around 400. I've just spent 500 in the morning, and then 400 during the lunch hour. And then what about supper? There is ugali again, and then, okay, there is maize flour again, and then there is also the fact that we are using something else, like there is a cooking oil, and then there is also cooking oil, there is vegetables. So in the afternoon or in the evening or during supper, I'm going to spend around, again, 500. So in a normal day, I have to spend around 1,400 bob, or above 1,000, just to sustain my little family. Just to sustain I'm working, yes. The salaries are still the same, but the things have increased. The food prices have increased. It's no longer the same. I cannot basically enjoy eating and drinking tea with sugar, because I will not afford in the next 2-3 months. And this is February, remember? This is February. That month that people fear the most, this is the month of June, where people fear the most that these food prices are going to be very mad up there. It is not even there. We are not even close to there, like 4 months to June, but the food prices are mad. So the thing is, if we reduce the farm inputs right now, because the farmers are spending a lot, in their farm inputs. So that's the reason why we are getting these prices that have really increased, that we cannot even afford. The fact that the input in the farm is so much that the farmer has to retain and then regain the profit. So if you are calculating the fact that I'm going to use 7,200 in fertilizer and then other farm input, I'm going to use around 15,000 or even 20,000, or let me just across approximately 40,000. I have to make sure that when I sell my produce, when I sell my products, I have to get above 40,000 so that I get the input, the one that the money I invested in the farm, and also the fact that I'll get something else. I'll get the profit. That's the aim of the farmer, that every time they go to the farm, they have to make sure that they are going to get the profit in the first place, and they are also going to regain what was put there. So if the farmer is going to increase the food prices, it's not his fault. It's because he wants the money back he invested in the farm, and also he wants the profit. That's how we come up with the fact that we are going to get the food prices have increased because the farmer or the farm inputs also increased, and when the farmer was getting them, it was in a higher price. It's just trying to regain, it's just trying to retain it's just trying to get the profit and also the farm input, like arudishe tu, like in a common language wanasema hata si kupata, yani hata hiyo shamba haijarudisha yani haijarudisha hiyo pesa niliweka hapo. So unapata farmer has just increased the prices of food because hizo pesa aliinvest hapo, it is just too much. And what is the government doing about it? Will the hashtag lower the food prices really help us? Will it even do something about it? Is the government watching us just from a comfort zone? It is election period. I don't know what kind of leader you want to represent you in that parliament so that he will lower these policies, by the way. They will put in place policies that will make sure that everyone is able to afford this food without even straining. Because our employers are not increasing our salaries simply because the food prices has gone up. That's not even the work of the employer, because even him is going deeper to his pocket. He's also suffering just the same. So your employer is not going to increase your salary simply because the food price has gone up. No, he's also suffering. I'll be taking a short break. When I come back, I'll be joined by Mr. Noah Nasiali so that we know how are we going to reduce the farm inputs so that we lower the prices of food. I'm Diana Mdega. Remember, this is A Farmer's Media, where we connect, learn, and grow. And this is A Farmer's Breakfast.
Beetroot is a highly nutritious root vegetable. The beetroot is the top proportion of a beet plant. It is one of the many varieties of the genus Beta vulgaris, all of which are mostly grown for their edible taproots and leaves. Beetroot is a root crop that takes approximately 3 to 4 months to mature. Beetroot is a fairly easy crop to grow as long as the soil is well cultivated prior to planting. Beetroots do not enjoy wet, boggy or shady soils. Beetroot can be sown in trays and transplanted when the seedlings have 2 true leaves. Plant in full sun, space seedlings 10 to 15 centimeters apart, and rows 20 centimeters to 30 centimeters apart so they have room to grow. Beetroots are also ideal for containers or raised beds. Beetroots will happily thrive in small areas as long as there's at least 20 centimeters depth of soil. Beetroot has been used not only for food but also for treatment for numerous conditions.
Agrovet shops are important outlets where farmers can easily get seeds, pesticides, and other farm inputs that are vital for successful crop and animal production.
Agrovets are very key to society because you find that the agrovet attendant is the closest person, is the closest expert that you have who can advise you on the product that you can use on what crop.
Agro dealers and their agents assist farmers in providing quality inputs. Here are some of the guidelines that appropriators should look out for before starting an agrovet business. Choose a location that is suitable and does not pose any undue risk to people and the environment.
When we are licensing the agrovets, we look at the physical structure of the facility, whereby the facility should be well ventilated, it should have enough space, should have shelves.
Business location is an essential factor to excel in agrovet business. Agrovets thrive well near agricultural farms. You need to consider the competition in the area. An appropriate agrovet shop has several qualities including accessibility to customers, security, adequate storage space, ventilation, adequate water supply. When starting your agrovet business, it is important to ensure you have a neat display that communicates reliability and credibility. Ensure you can distinguish between genuine suppliers, seeking out accredited dealers to avoid buying counterfeit goods. Obtain a license from the requisite regulators such as the Pest Controls Board and display it prominently on the premises. To kick off a successful agrovet business, you will need to meet all the legal requirements.
If you want to get into this business of operating an agrovet, the first thing that you should do is to get into our website, whereby you can get a form, an application that is a premises licensing form, whereby you can fill the form, or you can visit either of our regional offices in Nairobi, Nakuru, Kisumu, Mombasa, and Embu. Then you are required to attach your academic certificate, and you also attach, for you to be a licensed agrovet, you must have a license from the county government.
You will need a county business permit. This is the common permit that is needed for all businesses. If you intend to stock seeds, you will require licensing from the Kenya Plant Health Inspectorate Service, KEPHIS.
KEPHIS has come up with different measures to ensure that the produce that is placed in the market and also exported is meeting market requirement and also food safety standards. We analyze agrochemicals, that is now the pesticide formulations, to ensure that what's again being formulated and also sold in the Kenya market also meets the set specifications.
You will also need to commit yourself to not sell counterfeits by signing the Code of Conduct on Pesticide Management through accreditation by the Agrochemicals Association of Kenya. Here, members follow the Code of Conduct on Pesticide Management, which the industry uses for self-regulation. Through the code, AAK encourages the best practices for agro dealers, including responsible pesticide use and ethical business practice. Pesticides may pose risks to humans and the environment from manufacture to usage. One source of risk is during storage and handling at the point of supply to users. The pesticide should be stored under suitable conditions to maintain its physical and chemical properties until the end user receives it. Spillage could occur directly on persons handling them, contamination of food, or leakage into the environment during the various stages of transportation, loading, unloading, and storage. As appropriator, you should prioritize the safety of your products. One way of doing this is through proper placement. Pesticides should not be placed directly on the ground or on areas prone to flooding. Floor spaces should be uncluttered in a way that permits easy inspection and to allow free flow of air. This also enables immediate cleanup in the events of any leakage or spills, which will be easily visible. Containers should be well arranged to minimize unnecessary handling and to avoid mechanical damage. As a general principle, systems of storage should be flexible and adaptable.
We have a curriculum that we train our farmers with, and it starts with encouraging them to adopt integrated pest management, which is basically giving them options that they can use apart from pesticides. Once they understand this, they are able to responsibly use the pesticides, because they understand that they do not need to always resort to pesticides whenever they have an infestation on their farm.
Remember, proper usage of pesticides increases yields and market access for your produce. Food safety is everyone's responsibility, starting with the farmer. Dawa bora, mazao bora.
Thank you for joining us, and if you have tuned in, we say thank you so much. This is a Farmer's Breakfast, and this is Diana Mdega, and I'm joined by
one and only. Hey.
If I see Mr. Asiali, I just remember the
traffic.
Not the traffic, the melon things. I don't know why that thing is so funny to me, but it's heartbreaking to me, but I don't know why. It just amuses me every time I see you. I remember the melon. Weekend ilikuwa poa?
Sisi tulikuwa kwa vumbi.
I know. Have you brought anything like a goat from Marsabit?
Just dust.
No, dust is in Kitengela already.
Hakuna dust Kitengela.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana. Pole tumechelewa kidogo. Traffic, sijui kama amefanya traffic, niwaambie pale traffic.
No. You have first-hand information because you have been there. No one can tell it better than you.
Oh, traffic is crazy. Yes, so just back in in Nairobi, in the county, Diana tulienda 11 different counties.
Yes.
In 3 days.
I just know about Samburu. Is Marsabit a county?
Tulianzia Kajiado.
Yeah.
Nairobi, Kiambu, Murang'a, Embu. Kulikuwa na Meru hapo katikati, Laikipia, Samburu.
Yes.
Kwanza Samburu tulikuwa katikati ya Samburu.
I know about Samburu because of that landmark that you took a photo with.
But people are living, our countrymen are suffering.
When it comes to food crisis.
Everything, even water, even road network.
It was so heartbreaking when I was looking at those photos that where people are getting water, it is the same place where cows are drinking. It really made me appreciate where I come from, because we always have this plenty of water, rivers flowing, and then at the same time I'm just seeing someone like getting water at the same place where cows are taking water directly.
Let me tell you, it's not a joke. The way people say at yo nini. Anyway, back. Thika Road is crazy. It's very, very, very bad. Thika Road is very bad. Something else that is very interesting is that Mombasa Road is a nightmare.
It's a parking lot.
Hata sijui tungoje hii bypass ya juu sijui inakaa namna gani. Anyway, the wrong thing about it is that there was an accident that on Ngong Road, just they hit a wall and 4 of them died. You know, that one really got my attention, because I was wondering what happened? Anyway, for those who lost their lives, we pray for their families as well. And if you want to leave, I hear now, if you want to leave early, you just leave earlier than early.
How early is early?
You leave the time you're supposed to be waking up, you leave early. Nimechelewa 30 minutes. Hey. Anyway,
so
yes.
How early is early?
I think Mombasa Road, you should just, when you reach home, you reach home at midnight, you leave at 2.
So you just freshen up and then leave.
Wacha nikwambie, Mombasa Road hata si mbali. There's a place called Loyangalani.
Loyangalani?
Yeah.
Loyangalani. Is it here in Marsabit? Oh,
it is in Marsabit County.
Okay.
Where?
But those roads are so good, eh?
Where?
No potholes.
Where?
The ones, or
The
you're
road-
taking the good parts.
The road reached a very small place.
Uh-huh.
And the place where we went first to sleep is around 140 kilometers.
What?
But we took 7 hours.
That is heartbreaking enough.
From there, the next morning, we were going to a place that is 26 kilometers.
And
That
then
took us 2 hours.
26 kilometers?
Yes,
You're
it took us
taking
2 hours. From there, now we were going to that was now, we went to Orturot first. Then in the morning, we were going to distribute food in Arapal. Then from Arapal, we had to drive all the way to Loyangalani.
So this is due to bad roads, right?
Not bad roads, absence of roads.
Okay, I'm thinking about a pregnant woman who is having
It's
complication.
crazy. It is crazy.
A pregnant woman is having complication, and then she has to stay on the road for 7 hours.
That is where now you need those midwives, the traditional midwives?
Yes.
That's the only way they can serve. You cannot afford to be sick there. I had a flu, and then I had my antibiotics, which had been prescribed to take. But I could not take them because my body sometimes reacts to antibiotics. I had to wait for 3 days for me to take those medicines because I cannot afford to get a reaction. Sasa kutoka Arapal kuenda mpaka Loyangalani. It took us 8 hours. Masaa manane, a distance of 240 kilometers. Something that should have taken us probably maximum of 3 hours. 8 hours.
It's so bad. Now we're back to our topic, the food crisis is so bad. Where you went, it is even worse.
In fact, those guys do not know food. No. They don't even understand. In fact, when we were donating food, I wish we would be able to share some of the images that we were sharing.
We'll share them through our social media.
Yes.
Yeah.
If they were wondering, how can you bring to us food? Because for them, it's not normal. But anyway, let's go back to the topic.
The food crisis, it's like that is
It's
the
a
topic
mess.
of the country.
It's
It
a
is
mess.
trending at number 1.
In fact, I was looking at some of the posts,
Yes.
and it's a total mess. It's a total mess. Total mess.
People think that development should be equal to how people can sustain them. Do you think
Sorry?
development, if you're going to build roads that are so good, then we should be able to feed the people?
Why do you build roads? That's the catch. You see, we need to get our priorities right. Why do we build roads?
To facilitate good transport.
But where are we building the roads then? Because if somebody in Loyangalani cannot access a market, they cannot access food. Even if they have to grow their own food, do they take it to the market?
No.
And what we saw actually is not absence of food. It was poor road network and lack of logistic and transport services that farmers can be able to access. And that's why we see the whole idea that people now are talking about #lower food prices.
Yes.
It's deeper than just lowering food prices. Food prices is the end result.
Actually,
it's
it is the end result.
Yes.
Of the things that did not go right.
Yes, and that's why we keep on saying and telling your fellow countrymen, please support local farmers, buy from them, because when you buy from a farmer, the price is affordable. But if you walk into a supermarket, there's a broker who bought from the farmer. There's another guy who went to pitch to the supermarket, and then there's the supermarket itself. So, paying up triple.
So, are you suggesting that if we get rid of these brokers, maybe the food prices will go down?
We don't need to get rid of the brokers.
Yeah?
Just buy from the farmers. They will not be there.
Okay, what about those of us who cannot access farmers directly?
There's always someone next who is a farmer. In this office, we have 3 farmers. Yes.
Have you added me in that list?
No.
Okay, add me again.
4 now.
Okay, thank you so
You see?
much. So So the people think, a lot of people think, or majority think,
Yes.
that this is due to bad transport, increase in fuel. Do you think, like, is there an immediate way? Because naturally we are used to the fact that food, the crisis of food, it's around June, where there's no food, and people even know that June kubaya kabisa, hiyo ndio mwezi ya njaa.
You know, the funniest thing about it, Diana, is that this is something that we as farmers have always been talking about. You know, we've always been saying, you know, if you do this, then food prices will be lower. If you do this, food prices will be lower. Apart from just the food prices being lower, what happens is that you realize that everything has shot up. Everything, even even sukuma wiki, even matchbox.
Started matchbox.
Exactly.
And they are not even that what is prescribed. They wanasema it has 60 matchsticks. When you go to the house and count, it's around 47.
Will you have matchsticks?
Sticks are bad out there.
Yeah, you know, bottled water is very expensive. You know, potatoes is shot up. You know, I was just looking at some of the statistics as we were discussing yesterday.
Yeah.
And the price of food has just tripled. Cooking oil. And yet,
actually, people are saying,
Yes.
the ladies during Valentine's were
Yes.
requesting men that you should not don't bring us flowers, please bring us cooking oil. That was the thing. And
You know-
it was not a joke, it was not a meme, by the way.
you know, we when you're coming back from Masabit, we passed through Kisima Farm. Kisima Farm is in near, actually, Timao, between Timao and Meru. And what we saw in terms of what farmers were actually doing is that, especially Kisima Farm, they're brilliant. There are different alternatives, but the price was still high because 2 liters is going for 600 shillings. You can imagine 2 liters going for 600 shillings. It means 1 liter is 300 shillings. You know, and I don't know if you have some of the prices, some of the prices of food.
Yes, like basically like 5 liters of cooking oil goes for around 1,350. That is 5 liters. And then 2 kgs of sugar goes between 85. That's the lowest. That is 2 kgs. And how long are you going to, how long is this 2 kgs going to sustain the family? If you have a family of maybe 5.
Saba kama mimi.
Saba. Hii sukari inakaa muda gani?
You know, you can even think there's somebody who enters your house and steals sugar. Aki, seriously speaking.
To be honest, yes.
Yeah, because you see, the thing is, you cannot things.
And then the bread, which was costing around 45, now it is around 60. No, you cannot even buy comfortably. Like, unakuwa dynasty.
In fact, if you buy 2 loaves of bread, the guy in the supermarket gives you a paper bag free of charge.
No, actually, there was a post there was in a certain supermarket around my place.
Yeah.
They've just said, please take 2 packets. It's
Only.
not that you don't have money.
Yes.
You have money, but
Ration.
it was maize flour.
Yes.
And they were saying, please just take 2 packets. Because if you take 5, what about that person who is working in the next person? So
You know,
they were
it's
saying,
interesting.
not because you don't have money.
Yes.
But because it is limited.
And you know, it's becoming worse because it's an election year. And somebody who was actually just looking at some of the comments across social media yesterday and from Saturday, and one of the things that stood out was we have wrong priorities. We have maize coming from Kitale, we have wheat, but you realize that the millers are in Nairobi, you know, and you're wondering why would you have millers so far from the place, you know?
Source.
And then something else that also came out very clearly as I was talking to different people was the extension services is very poor. So since we don't have extension officers, what happens is these people, farmers, are not able to increase their yields. But they cannot increase their yields because of one main thing. And our former governor for Nairobi, I don't know if we have that clip. There's a statement that he said, which I think the producer needs to put it up. You know, it's a very interesting thing that when he mentioned that specific thing, which we'll just read it when it's up there. Of all people, you know, that is one of the things that I didn't really expect that from him, though I know he's a farmer at Moore Hills.
Actually,
and even in
it
Kwale.
took me off guard.
Yes, he's a farmer actually in Moore Hills as well as in Kwale. You know, let's just see where the post comes up. And it's something that has been said that we have tried to say it for a long time, you know, but it has not happened. But before, as we wait for this to be put up, then if you look at it very critically, what is do we have hope?
All is not lost.
Wewe unaweza ona nini ambayo itapunguza bei ya mahindi?
Not immediately. I think policies are
there.
Policies are there, but
yes.
Are we really doing anything about it?
Do you think, let me just be honest, because we need to put this very, very, very clearly. Do you think it is do you think it is important for farmers to play another role other than just producing?
Another role by
yes.
Another role, what do you mean, like
just something else? Because it all goes back to farmers. You see, there's a lady, there's a friend of mine, she's called Catherine. Catherine in California. And what Catherine said is that she said something very, very important here, and said that nobody else, let me just bring it up as we still wait for the image to be okay. It is up, so you can actually read it faster. So this post was very important because I saw this post and I was like, wow. I sent him a message and he said, but that's the truth, you know?
Yeah.
You can just read it up probably.
Okay, the post says, I don't think prices of food can be lowered down as you are protesting via hashtag lower food prices until prices of farm products are lowered. That is, fertilizers, chemicals to spray, and animal feeds. Hapo ndio hii language should start. When producing cost is high, prices to be higher. And then siku hizi hata nikipea mtu thao najua tu labda atabuy 2 kg of sugar and 2 kg of cooking oil, kenye atakula na anacho ndio pressure ingine kando. Anyway, let's embrace farming. Hata kama ni kitchen garden, unaweza save your onions, your coins bila kujua.
Imagine.
Yeah.
So even if
kwa 1000
yeah.
And then it's very right. Akipea mtu thao 2 kg of sugar, 2 kg of cooking oil, hiyo pesa imeisha. It's right.
You know,
and this is 1,000 bob.
1,000 shillings, which used to be like a lot of money. 1,000 shillings was a lot of money, but now these days, the moment you break 1,000 shillings, it's done, finished.
Hata ukinua to credit ya 20 bob, that's queen.
You know, it's tough. It's tough. But again, this is the end result. So we're actually seeing the end result of wrong interpretation and execution of the policies, because if farmers do not understand what they need to do to grow healthy food, they will not grow healthy food. So the food that they grow will be very expensive, number one. The second thing is that, as the former governor has said, is that even if they were to buy 2 kilos of sugar, 2 kilos of cooking oil, what are they going to eat with? But again, as my good friend Cory Maru, who's an admin of Digital Farmers Kenya, actually asked, even if these prices are high, is there a ripple effect back to the farmer? Mkulima haoni hiyo pesa.
Bado tu.
So iko shida mahali.
Yani bado hata the prices are high, but not that the farmer is really benefiting from it. It's not.
Hakuna. It's a lie. It's a lie.
Someone just said that price. There was a time people were protesting about the petrol.
Yes, petrol.
And then us without cars we were like, wacha watu wapigane vita zao.
It goes back to you. Afadhali mutate wale wako na magari, because at least anaweza beba mboga kutoka shamba alete to town.
Because we thought maybe hao ni watu wa magari that should be affected by the increase of prices.
Very few cars huku nje ziko. Most of these vehicles zimeshawakataa.
So people are saying like a liter of cooking oil goes for around 375. That is a liter of cooking oil. While super petrol is 127. So someone should confirm if petrol can cook.
That's a very good point, by the way. That's a very good point, because hata sikuwa nimeangalia hivyo.
Someone should really confirm if we can use petrol to cook, because 325 and 127.
there's something wrong, because we are still growing the same amount of food. We are actually even improving, and that's some of the things probably tunaweza iangalia baadaye after the break, just to understand what can we really do about to lower this price of food.
Yeah, what should we do? We'll be taking a short break, but remember, in conjunction with Producers Direct, farmers are encouraged to always take that step of making yourself that you are safe by getting a jab. Make sure that you get a jab. Make sure that you are vaccinated. Make sure you wear the mask properly, not here down in the chin, not just hanging, but make sure that you are protecting your nose, you're protecting your mouth. So make sure that you wear your mask properly so that we fight this corona. There are new cases that have come up, so we are not safe. Get that jab. Make sure that you're vaccinated. Make sure that you're safe. You're protecting yourself. You're protecting your family, and you're protecting those people you love. So we'll be taking a short break, and when we come back, we shall be discussing how are we going to make sure that the prices of food have been lowered. This is a Farmer's Breakfast. I am Diana Mdega.
And one and only Noah Nasiali Kadima.
Spinach is a dark leafy vegetable that originated in Persia. Spinach is a superfood as it is loaded with tons of nutrients in a low-calorie package. Spinach has been used by various cultures throughout the history. Spinach is a versatile vegetable and can be eaten raw or cooked. It can be incorporated quite easily in any diet as it is cheap and easy to prepare.
Thank you for continuing joining us at A Farmers Media. This is A Farmers Breakfast. I'm Diana Mdega.
And no one see Kadima na kama mute.
Apana, you can hear yourself loud and clear, right?
Okay.
So you have
yes.
These things, this for Europeans who don't know.
Any
so
pressure, food prices. Food
prices. By the way, the kids will be home soon.
Hey,
And do you know how long they're coming?
No,
do you know how long the kids will be home?
1 month.
No.
Yes.
2
months.
Yes.
They're closing school for 2 months.
Yes. Because
yes.
the last group that will be out of school will be around 8th or 11th. That will be for the KCP. But the lower ones will be 5th. They will be out, all of them. And they're going back to school in May.
May?
Yes.
I am glad I am a farmer. Please be friends with us farmers. Hey. Mugwe marafiki. Ukinunua mafuta ya kupika, unatugawia kidogo, tunakupatia mboga. Haya. Don't say I didn't say it.
Remember to always comment us and also follow us on other social media platform. That is A Farmers Media, that is Instagram, and also A Farmers Media in Twitter. Remember, there are also shows that they're short videos. When you follow us at A Farmers Media, you'll be getting them there. So you'll watch and learn so much. Remember, this is not the only shows at A Farmers Media. There is A Farmers Breakfast that is going on from 7 to 9. And then there is mid-morning show that starts at 10 and ends around 12. And there's Shajara Mkulima every day from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And there's A Farmer's Driver by David Kagina. It is brought to you every day from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. So you don't have to miss. And if you miss, make sure that you go to A Farmers Media and then watch the video just slowly and then learn something about A Farmers Media. Here we connect, learn, and grow.
Any kala. Any pole. Then.
Yes.
There's something that I want to say.
Yeah.
And this statement comes from this friend of mine, as I was mentioning. Anyway, yes. So this friend of mine is a farmer in California. And what she did is that she looked at many things in life and realized there's something that she has not been able to speak out about properly and brought out the issues properly. And this lady is called very interesting. She's called Stephanie Nash. So Stephanie Nash is an agriculture advocate and a singer and songwriter. She says that, and I quote, "Farmers feed the world, not the government, not activists, not politicians, not the news, not celebrities. Just in case anyone forgot, farmers feed the world." So, if people want the food prices to be reduced, you have to talk and think with farmers.
Like Lazima. She has nailed it 100%.
Yes, nailed it twice after Sonko. After Sonko.
Like, farmers feed the world.
Simple.
Farmers, like, there's not even, that statement is just complete. Farmers feed the world. Like, hakuna kuongeza, hakuna kuondoa.
Hapana, ni hivyo tu.
Yes.
Farmers feed the world.
If at all the government comes in, then they have to come to the farmer.
Yes.
So it comes down to the farmer.
Yes, because if farmers today decided not to grow food, there's nothing government will do.
Please don't start traumatizing us.
So you have to make sure that farmers are actually able to grow food.
And how are they able to grow food?
If it is affordable. So we go back very brief, very categorically now to talk about specifics. You know, when I was preparing this show, I was asking myself, what are some of the ways that farmers can be able to, their food that the farmers are producing and be affordable? And I'll go straight to the point. Soil health. We have to make sure that our soils are healthy. Even if you're doing kitchen garden, something else that should be adapted by everybody. Everybody who has some space, have a kitchen garden. Hata kama utachukua some tins na nini weka mchanga panda mboga. You have reduced your food prices kidogo. You know, when you have your vegetables, green vegetables, you are one step ahead. At least hata ukipata unga you'll be working for unga. Lakini ingine we're working for unga and vegetables.
Cooking oil.
Lakini sijaiona wewe ukituna mboga hapo. Unapika kweli?
Unajua
Diana, you don't cook. Ama you are the people of one meal per day.
You see this skin, you think it is meat.
Hapana.
Actually, my family, they are vegetarians.
Really?
Yes.
You don't eat meat?
If they do that,
yes.
Then that day we are not going to sleep. Scratching, allergic.
So not that you're vegetarian, you're allergic to meat. That's the difference.
No. Like now, this one, I think I just subject them to greens.
Yes.
Not because I want them to be eating greens every day,
yes.
but it's because of their health. So the cost has reduced in my side.
So but you're not allergic to meat. Are you allergic to meat also?
No, I'm not, but I don't know why the kids are allergic to meat. I don't know why.
But mala is more expensive than meat. So one of the most important things that we should do as farmers, first of all, is to be able to correct our soils, make sure that our soils are really healthy. As you do this, what you'll be doing, actually, you'll be making sure that your costs are lower. Your fertilizer costs are lower. Your soil is improving, meaning where you are getting 10 bags of maize per acre, you can very easily now increase that double or even triple, depending on the time that you take to correct the soil. And one of the organizations that have actually come out and seen that they can be able to help farmers correct their soils is Omnia Fertilizers. And Omnia Fertilizer, as personally as an Africa Soil Health Ambassador, I have seen that some of the products that help so much, and just the way they introduce the products, they talk about, I was talking to Rhino, who's the East Africa general manager, and I was asking him, why do you do this? Why do you do this? We'll share some of these clips later on. He said it's because the African soil has been used and reused and reused over and over, with the same inputs being put in
and same plants being planted.
Exactly. Yeah. And nobody has checked to see why we are reducing. So we are reducing in yields. Our yields are reducing. The quality is reducing. We saw the other
inputs are increasing.
And the farm inputs are definitely, because if your soil is poor, you have to put more fertilizer.
You have to boost.
Yes, exactly. And then something else that also came up is health, our own health, especially men's health. When it comes to the quality of soils that are there, most of the nutrients that are required for even human body in terms of consumption is no longer in our soils. So automatically that is one of the things that helps farmers to be able to reduce, but also removing some of the taxations. All the taxes. A farmer is somebody who has all the expenses set for them. Diana, you go to a place, you're told, hapa bei ya tractor inakuwa namna hii. Bei ya labor is like this. You're told, when you go to the market, you pay, first of all, you have to look for transport. So if you
don't have actually that transport, so you have to hire.
Exactly. So, mbuka story yangu watermelon. And the price, and I see transport is the same. Whether you're carrying, in fact, when you're carrying vegetables, those transporters even charge you more because they assume you're making cash money.
Actually, they know you're going, not they assume.
Yes.
No.
And sometimes they even want you to pay up front. Yes. So one of the other things that you can do as our fellow countrymen is that, as a farmer, first of all, is make sure that your soil is corrected. Make sure that you are working on your soils to make sure that you are getting maximum output in terms of what the soil should be able to give you, because now the nutrients composition has actually been repaired. The other thing is now, once you do that, select products that work for you. So selecting products that work for you means, first of all, products that repair the soil, and then products that help feed the crop. And this, hatujaanza mambo ya fertilizer bado. Ni bado tuko kwa mchanga tu bado.
Tuko kwa mchanga bado, like you are correcting the soil before we start.
Exactly.
And by correcting the soil, that means they will advise you. Maybe wewe uko unapanda tu mahindi and that place is not for maize.
Even if it's for maize, they'll tell you what quantity of fertilizer do you require.
Or what variety works better in such particular soil. So you as a farmer, you benefit by knowing the correct soil, like the type of soil that you're having.
Yes.
It's a step, like it's a plus for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, let us go to the secret of buying safe, affordable food. Safe, healthy, and affordable food. The key, the 3 keys to saving money.
Yes.
Number 1, buy food from the farmers. Directly from the farmers.
But it is fresh.
Fresh, affordable.
And even the quantity they are giving you, it's never the same like that one in the supermarket.
Hata tunaongeza.
Yes, kuna venye farmer anashikilia.
We sell vegetables, sukuma wiki, at 25 shillings per kilo. That 1 kilo is broken down into 3 and sold as one bunch at 30 shillings in a supermarket or 25 shillings in a supermarket. Meaning, me as a farmer, I've sold at 25.
Yes, at 25 shillings.
Yes.
That's for a kilo.
Yes.
And then the kilo is broken down.
Into 3.
Into 3.
Yes. So this person actually goes and gets 75 shillings out of 50 shillings more, which you are the one who's paying for it. So buy from the farmer. My number is 0700 29 29 59. Call me if you want fresh vegetables.
I thought you were marketing us. Okay, fresh vegetables, 25.
Yes.
Okay. And this is so it is a relief to someone who is listening out there. Like, if you don't know, there's always someone who is a farmer. So
exactly. Then the next thing, let us avoid food waste. If you buy vegetables, if you're not going to consume all of it, cook or steam and put in the freezer. If you don't have a fridge or a freezer, dry those vegetables, pack them in an airtight bag, store them somewhere.
Correct.
Yes. If you don't have a place to store and they are green and you've cooked them, do this. There's something that my mom used to put in vegetables. It is called omunyu mushereha. Omunyu mushereha. Magadi watu wanasema magadi naenda kwa magoti. So this is ash that has been put water then sieved. So it helps preserve vegetables, and then you can add some small milk. Nasikia pia maziwa yamepanda bei. Kenya bei.
Mafuta ndio hiyo. The only thing that is not increasing is salt. So I don't know.
Hata mimi kama chumvi wamepunguza quantity. Kenya is special. Yes, so that is another thing. So contact your farmers. If you're listening to us, if you're watching us and you're not a member of Africa Farmers Club or even Digital Farmers Kenya or any other group, make sure you join these groups.
Yeah, you're missing out.
You're missing out.
That. Because there you can find farmers who are selling vegetables at very low price, friendly prices.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other thing, when we were growing up, my mom, my parents had some friends.
Yes.
And they, around end month, they would have a meeting. If they had a meeting like today, what would happen is, in the next 2 days, like today they have a meeting, in the next 2 days, mom has come with some shopping. And I used to wonder, it never hit my mind until much later on, when my mom told me that they used to come together as friends, and then they go to a wholesale and buy in bulk. So you go to the wholesale, instead of buying, for example, flour at 130 shillings per packet, you now buy it at probably 115.
Because you have bought in bulk.
So that's another secret that I have seen work. Buy products, food in bulk as groups. You might not have to, you don't have to buy bundles together, but buy as a bulk. But when you buy as a bulk, make sure that now you can dictate the price. You negotiate better, because if you're buying 5 kilos of rice for yourself, now you can actually be able to buy even 40 because you're 8 people, and that price goes lower. And it's funny that sometimes people think that 5-10 shillings of food is very little. If you multiply,
so much.
Yes. If you extrapolate it to now, for example, you've been buying 5 kilos per week. Again, 5 kilos in mingi. Anyway, 5 kilos per week. In a year, you have 5 kilos times 52. That's around 200 and something. 250?
A kilo, 52 times 5.
Yes.
So it's around actually 250. It's 250.
So 250 kilos of rice per year times 10 shillings.
It is 2,500.
That 2,500, you've done something else with it. So you can imagine if 20 people would save, 100 people would save 2,500 shillings. We are talking about 250,000 shillings. You've done something else with it. So wakati ya kusema mimi naenda kufanya shopping kulingana na mfuko wako imeisha. Now tunaenda kulingana na mifuko yetu.
And everyone has these chamas, like
Yes.
even if I'm not there, my husband is there or someone is there. So these chamas can be used to do such things.
Yes, even the cooperatives.
Cooperatives, these chamas that we go like every 15th or 30th, we can use them to do something of sort.
Mimi nangoja
Buying
kuingizwa
food.
kwa chama.
Eh?
Sijaingizwa kwa chama yote bado.
December.
Something else. When you buy, why I'm insisting on looking for friends of your friends who are farmers, is because the prices are low. Let us be very honest, and the food is fresh. So make sure every Saturday you visit a farmer, a friend who is a farmer, and buy from them from their farm. You can even offer to go with them to the farm and buy fresh. Like tomorrow I'm waiting for oranges. Off-season oranges from Makueni. Na ni kama nilikuwa nanunulia kilo moja, that is 6 oranges at around 60 bob.
6
And in the
oranges,
supermarket,
that is-
1 orange is 45.
It even goes as up as 60.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So again, buy from farmers. The other thing we've seen also is make sure that you buy food in bulk. The other thing that we have to make sure that we do is to make this noise very loud. If you want to lower your price, I know one of my friends, Catherine Munyua, who's doing a brilliant job with cottage industries, is actually passionate about is the fact that we can be able to shout and scream louder. But let us shout and scream louder with a certain target. Lowering food prices is a brilliant hashtag that yes will trend,
Yeah.
but it will just end up trending. If we lower the cost of farm inputs, the food prices will be lower automatically.
Very.
Ama tutapika na petroli.
Yes, because where we are heading, I think
Yeah.
if I don't want, okay, sugar, I've said that sugar can be luxury. I can just.
But it should not. We have Mumias Sugar is one of the best. It was the best sugar factory.
Yes, but now, where is it?
You know, it's a very interesting scenario where when we say where is it, it is because that Mumia Sugar has moved, or is it that the farmers are not there, or is it that there's just neglect? And see, those are the things. The taxes, you can see Mumia Sugar has actually been taken over by a certain family, but they're being fought in courts that, it wasn't the right thing. And one thing that I really liked about one of the former presidents is that he regulated the price of food.
That's where we should go back.
And in most countries, by the way, they regulate the price of food.
That food should not.
Food should be controlled, just like the way now the price of petrol, diesel is actually being controlled by government. That should happen the same. The other secret that you need to do is that open up yourself and have an extended mix of food. Let us not rely on the same set of food. For example, let us adapt things like avocados. Avocado ni kawaida, but avocado moja ni 40 bob. Na hapa Githunguri ni shilingi 5.
But even it is not breaking in Kitale, like farmers are just throwing the avocados and it's that season because.
And yet we go to buy avocado oil.
Even my dad was asking me like, huko town wanauza avocado 50 bob na mimi hapa hivi avocado zinaoza tu.
Now that is something else that we have to avoid food waste. We have to learn how to avoid food waste by either you see, now we used to have cooperatives, and those cooperatives are the ones that were really helping us. Yeah, the farmer cooperatives. Lakini zilianguka kwa sababu watu wa siasa waliingia hapo waka. Yes, very interesting.
Actually, the outcry is so much. Someone is saying, maendeleo lazima yawe na uwiano. Hatuwezi kuwa na watu wenye njaa na barabara nzuri. Mfumo fulani mahali fulani umeharibika. Kwa hiyo barabara zinatumika kipimo tu. Tunasema ukiweza kutengeneza barabara nzuri, hakika unaweza kujilisha watu wako bora zaidi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if the roads are being constructed, then let's go back to regulating the food.
Yes.
So that at least we'll not have these good roads.
You have good roads and you have bad with no food.
We don't even have anything to transport, to use that road for.
To take food to Marsabit costed us 60,000 shillings.
What are you saying? 60,000? Like
60,000 shillings.
elfu sitini. Ukahesabu hivi
Yes.
Za kwanza mpaka
Because kitu ya kwanza, petrol, diesel, I mean, the fuel that we used was for 1,800 kilometers. So 1,800 kilometers, it already takes you to a totally different level, because that's 1,800 shilling, 1,800 kilometers. So you divide it by probably 6, probably. Yeah, because the road is very bad. So 300 liters. 300 liters times 130. So fuel peke yake ilikuwa 39,000 shillings.
39,000, that's fuel.
That's fuel only. Kupeleka tuko.
So actually, so kweli mkulima akifika huko na uze bei yenye si ya kawaida. Now you understand.
Who will actually, which farmer will spend 39,000 shillings on transport? And it was actually because of a good friend, the transport company is called Control Tech, which offered to actually make sure that the food that has come from our farm and other farmers in Meru, Timau, actually reaches the farmers themselves. Our countrymen who are really suffering.
You start breaking that, okay, the people are just going on with their lives, and the politicians are still campaigning. You know, like everything is just normal. We are just crying there on Twitter, hashtag lower the food prices.
Lower food prices.
Lower the food prices, but has anyone even responded to this hashtag?
Hakuna. Me, I've not seen anywhere, and that's why for me I just say it's full of crap, you know. And that's one of the reasons why for me politics does not play any it does not.
Politics is another heartbreaker that people.
I don't even get heartbroken in politics anymore. Because you see, nobody's talking about food crisis.
No one.
Even the whole weekend, nobody actually even said, "Oh no, let us do it this way."
That Kenya Kwanza is having a meeting somewhere in Meru, and they will be addressing the issues. Let's see what comes.
They'll be addressing food.
No, they will be addressing the issue of lowering lowering prices of food.
How do they plan to do it?
Okay, these people are just campaigning, by the way. So
you know, one thing that is
who is the correct person to address these issues so that we can be helped?
You know, one of the things that is very interesting is the fact that the food crisis is not a crisis that you wake up and you find it there. Like the way you wake up and find it's raining.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
It is something that is constant. Some of the people who are there were the ones who are supposed to in both what is the called what now? There's Kenya Kwanza and then there's what? There's Azimio. Nasikia kuna ingine wapi inaitwa nini?
This one for Wajakoya, what is it called?
Wajakoya is another one. He wants now to legalize bang. Again.
It's looking out for the farmer. So look at the tank.
Hata hiyo watu wasianza.
No, as a farmer, how are you going to benefit
from? Na hiyo maneno. And then the other thing is, so they're called what? Alliances.
Yeah.
Political alliances. There's a word they use in politics. We'll ask Dora.
Coalitions.
Dora anajua mambo ya siasa vizuri. Tutamuuliza. None of them has actually put out across and said this is a scenario with food crisis. And because of not having clear policies, you find that now people are being told that we will give you wheelbarrows. Wengine wanasema watapewa shilingi 6,000. Wengine wanasema watapewa sijui nini. Wengine wamesema they legalize bang smoking. Yani wanaona shida yetu ni kuvuta bangi. You know, iko shida. So as we do this, you realize that now most people are not doing the right thing. And that is why the crisis is still going on. Unapata wakati fulani kama wakati ya maembe, sasa naona msimu wa maembe wa nini ukamani inaisha, sasa wataacha kuturingia kidogo. Instead of a lot of waste going on. You know, is there a way that we can add value to these products? Because that is the secret. The other thing that we're also not doing right is the fact that we are over reliant on the retail markets. So when you're relying on retail markets, there's a farmer, there's a distributor, there is a wholesaler, there is a retailer, alafu inafika kwako. hata kama wataweka na hao watu hapo ndio wanatengeneza pesa kuliko mkulima na wanakula pesa yako.
Actually, because huyu anaweka hii price,
yes,
and every like the more the people involved,
yes,
the higher the price.
Yes.
If I've come to you and
yes,
I'm telling you I'm selling a Pro Box, I'll just tell you directly.
Hakuna ule anafanya na nini.
Lakini sasa nikiambia Zaitun enda uongee na Mr. No, and then akikuja kwako and then
anaweka yake juu.
Brian amwambia no, I know how to talk. So the chain goes on. By the time the money that will be brought here, you'll have paid like twice.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Because
very,
of these links.
Yes, it's very and food is a necessity. Food is something that has to be there.
That's a basic need.
Yeah, but you see, when you talk about brokers, nobody comes out. Nobody comes out straight.
Yeah.
And why I was talking about these alliances is because all the alliances involved, these were people who were in government. People who pesa ya damu walikula. Pesa ya fertilizer walikula. Pesa ya mahindi walikula. Mahindi ililetwa, they are the ones who are importing maize from Congo, from Brazil. Wengine wanasema Congo hakuna ng'ombe, lakini nasikia wamerekebisha. Nasikia ile ng'ombe inatoka Congo hata iko na mpembe kubwa kuliko ya Kenya.
Hadi imeunda
love hapo juu. Lakini siasa.
Anyway, these people will talk anything, so just be careful.
So what you need to do is that put your leaders to task, and that's one of the things that I asked yesterday after sharing the comment about the post by Mike Sonko. Mm-hmm. Put your leaders to task. Put the people who want, and the power of social media. What I was saying, actually, one of the things that you can actually clearly do is put that lower food prices, hashtag lower food prices, mm-hmm. Hashtag, the other one should come first, hashtag lower cost of production, hashtag lower food prices, and then tag your MCA, MP, the current ones. See, wale wanavai bado tag these people. If they're not on social media, there's something wrong with your people, because how do you reach them? Social media is, wanasema kama zamani radio ilikuwa nusu ya kuonana. Social media ndio kuonana mzima.
Okay, as we're winding up, just let me remind farmers that we are supposed to get vaccinated as farmers. We are supposed to get that vaccine. We are supposed to make sure that we protect ourselves from corona. And this is by masking up. Make sure that you mask up every time you go out there. Every time you are doing anything, make sure you mask up. But masking up does not mean that you are wearing the mask in this region. So make sure unavaa mask.
Amna hii,
yeah.
Unafunika mdomo. Unafunga kabisa.
Yes. So make sure that you wear the mask in the correct way. This message is by the producers direct. We are winding up. It is 9. So what's it's already 9. So we are just winding up the show.
Kumbe kuchelewa kazini ni mbaya.
So what are your last words? We'll continue this because this food crisis is not ending today. So we'll pick up tomorrow
yes.
and then continue with the topic. So what are your last words?
Go and buy from a farmer. I'm telling you, when you buy from a farmer, prices are lower. My number is 0700 29 29 59. Call me. Nakupatia shimo ya chakula.
Always remember to keep it a Farmers Media every day, every single day from 7 to 6 p.m. We have various programs that will make sure that you are educated, you are informed, and you always come out knowing something that you didn't know. So this is Diana Mdega. And
no one silly.
Remember, a proverb of the day is a bad workman always blame his tools. A bad workman always blame his tools.